You're introducing two people. You open your mouth, and out comes the wrong name. Not a random name, their name. The ex, the boss you can't stand, the one person you swore you'd never mention. You laugh it off. An accident, right? A glitch? Over 100 years ago, one man said, "No, that was no accident. That was your brain snitching on you." His name was Sigmund Freud, and in 1901, he wrote a whole book arguing that your everyday mistakes are tiny confessions. The book is called The Psychopathology of Everyday Life. Don't let the title scare you. It's really about the dumb little stuff. Forgetting a name, misreading a word, losing your keys, saying the exact wrong thing at the exact wrong moment. Freud had a word for these slips: parapraxis. You probably know it by its nickname, the Freudian slip. And his idea was simple and a little unsettling. These mistakes are not random. They're messages leaking out from a part of your mind you don't control, the unconscious. Think of your mind like an iceberg. The small tip above the water is what you're thinking right now. The giant part underneath, the part you can't see, is everything you've buried. Wishes, fears, things you'd never say out loud. And every now and then, a piece of it slips out. Here's the wild part. Freud's favorite example was himself. He was on a train trying to remember the name of a famous Italian painter he knew perfectly well, Luca Signorelli. And Freud, the expert, completely blanked. But here's what makes it strange. His brain didn't just go quiet. It confidently handed him the wrong names instead. Botticelli, Boltraffio, both wrong, both other painters. So Freud became a detective on his own mind, and he realized that right before this, he'd been talking about death and about sex topics he felt uneasy discussing with a stranger on a train. He'd shoved those thoughts down, and when he pushed those thoughts under, they dragged the painter's name down with them, and shoved up two fake names stitched together from the very things he was trying to avoid. The forgetting wasn't a gap, it was a cover-up. Once Freud started looking, he saw these slips everywhere. A politician opens a meeting he clearly doesn't want to have. Freud's famous case. The president of parliament steps up to begin the session and announces, "The session is hereby closed." He wanted it over before it began. You forget the dentist appointment you were dreading. You lose the gift from someone you're secretly angry at. You call your teacher mom. Be honest, you've done at least one of these. Freud's punchline was bold. There are no accidents. Every slip, every lost object, every forgotten name has a reason hiding underneath it. Now, big question, is any of this real, or is it just a clever story? For a long time, scientists rolled their eyes. Most slips, they said, are just your brain's word machine tripping over itself. No secrets, no drama. But then, in the 1970s, two researchers named Motley and Baars decided to actually test it in a lab. They gave people tongue twisters designed to make them slip. Say balm peach fast enough, and out pops Palm Beach. Harmless. Then they changed the mood in the room. One group was told they might get a mild electric shock, and those people suddenly started slipping into shock words. Words about danger and current and pain. Another group took the test in front of a very attractive experimenter, and that group, their slips turned flirty. Suddenly the wrong words coming out were about sex. The neutral group, calm and bored, slipped randomly. No pattern at all. So Freud wasn't completely right. Not every mistake is a buried secret, but he wasn't completely wrong either. What's on your mind really does steer the mistakes you make. Your tongue really can rat you out. And this is where Freud's little book gets big. He argued that the line between a normal mind and a troubled one isn't a wall. It's blurry. In his words, we are all a little bit neurotic. He believed the mind never truly throws anything away. As he put it, the unconscious knows no time limit. Everything you've ever felt is still down there, filed and waiting. Which means the next time you blurt out the wrong name or lose something you didn't want to give, or forget the one thing you really didn't want to do, maybe stop for a second and ask, what was I actually thinking? Because according to Freud, your mistakes aren't noise. They're you telling the truth when you weren't planning to. So here's my question for you. What's the most embarrassing slip you've ever made? Drop it in the comments. Let's diagnose each other. And if your brain enjoyed snitching on you today, subscribe. Next time we open up another corner of the mind you didn't know was talking.